Egyptian archaeologists have unearthed a 3,000-year-old lost city complete with mud brick houses, artifacts and tools from the times of the pharaohs.
For generations, scholars argued about a city many believed never truly existed. Ancient texts hinted at it, travelers claimed traces of it, yet no proof ever appeared. Over time, it became a legend, a place lost somewhere beneath endless desert sands. Then, a routine excavation changed everything. Instead of scattered ruins, archaeologists uncovered streets, homes, and tools exactly where people left them centuries ago. The myth suddenly had walls, rooms, and stories. How did a city so important vanish from memory, and what secrets has it preserved until now? Let's find out. The lost city discovered. Imagine discovering a city that had been hidden in plain sight for 3,000 years. It sounds like a story out of legend, yet that is precisely what unfolded in 2020 near the banks of the Nile, close to Luxor. Archaeologists had anticipated uncovering only minor ruins or fragments of walls, perhaps the faint echoes of past settlements. Instead, they stumbled upon something extraordinary. Entire streets, homes and workshops from Egypt's glorious New Kingdom, perfectly preserved beneath centuries of sand. What had seemed at first like ordinary mud brick walls soon revealed far more. Doorways still intact, tools left where they were once used, and jars carefully labelled, hinting at the daily rhythms of a community that had thrived long ago. The discovery was like stepping back in time. For historians, this city was almost mythical, a lost town whose existence had long been whispered about in fragments of texts and hints in tomb inscriptions. Now, there it was, exposed in all its silent grandeur, waiting to share its secrets. Streets and alleys, clearly planned and organized, spoke of a sophisticated urban life, while homes showed how families lived, worked, and interacted.
For Egyptologists, which will draw so important information about the daily life.
Workshops revealed artisans at work, trading goods and practicing skills that had kept the city vibrant. Every object, from broken pottery to simple tools, became a clue, a tangible link to the past that humanized history in a way no monumental tomb ever could. But questions lingered, adding to the mystery. Why had this once thriving city been abandoned? What circumstances had caused its people to leave behind everything they knew and loved? The sands had concealed not only bricks and artifacts, but the untold story of human lives. Hopes, struggles, and routines frozen in time. Each corner of the city seemed to whisper fragments of narratives that had been lost for millennia, inviting scholars to imagine daily life as it unfolded thousands of years ago. This extraordinary find is more than a collection of ruins. It is a bridge across time. It allows us to witness a civilization not through the lens of kings and monuments alone, but through the eyes of ordinary citizens who built, worked, and lived in a structured, vibrant community. A city no one could have imagined existed was discovered by archaeologists near Luxor in Egypt. But why was it abandoned? And what forgotten stories might be hidden within its walls? Now, let's explore how an ancient Egyptian town preserved the secrets of everyday life in the New Kingdom. Uncovering a lost city. Unlike the dramatic uncovering of tombs, this excavation brought to light something far more dynamic, a fully functioning town frozen in time. Unlike a burial site, where the focus is on rituals and the belongings of the dead, this settlement offers a window into the living, breathing world of ordinary people. Towering walls, still several meters high, trace the outlines of streets, alleys, and homes. Inside, the rooms remain recognizable, their shapes hinting at kitchens, storage spaces, and living quarters.
Jars here actually were used for the many ovens here, storage areas. People sleep here.
What stands out most is the town's organization. Neighborhoods were arranged in deliberate districts, suggesting careful planning and social structure, a reflection of the people who lived, worked, and interacted here centuries ago. The remarkable preservation of this town is largely thanks to Egypt's unforgivingly dry climate. Mud brick structures, which might have crumbled elsewhere, have survived the centuries intact, standing as silent witnesses to the rhythms of daily life. Unlike tombs that capture one moment, the final rest of a pharaoh or noble, this town preserves layers of history. Its story is not of a single frozen instant, but of generations living, working, and gradually abandoning the space, each layer leaving behind subtle clues. Abandonment was slow, almost gentle, and combined with the arid environment, it created an archaeological treasure trove that speaks volumes about urban life in ancient times. For archaeologists, the discovery was immediately thrilling. Here, in this carefully preserved town, the past came alive in a way that tombs cannot replicate. Every street, doorway, and corner offered insight into ordinary life during Egypt's New Kingdom, a period rich with culture, commerce, and social complexity. Tools, pottery, and everyday objects lay where they were once used, providing direct evidence of work, trade, and domestic routines. Scholars could, for the first time, reconstruct not just monumental events or royal extravagance, but the textures of daily urban existence, the way neighborhoods were arranged, how families shared spaces, and how communities organized their lives around common needs and shared streets. In essence, this excavation opens a rare and extraordinary window onto a living, functioning society from thousands of years ago. It is a glimpse into ordinary lives, preserved by nature and circumstance, offering a story far richer and more intimate than that of a single tomb. Through its walls, streets, and homes, the town whispers the forgotten rhythms of an ancient civilization, revealing the human side of history in the New Kingdom. But who could have ruled this organized city? And how structured were the lives of the people under his rule? Let's find out. Inside the heart of an ancient Egyptian city, in the southern section of the newly uncovered city, archaeologists discovered a remarkable complex dedicated to daily life. A large bakery and food preparation area filled with ovens, storage jars, and evidence of bustling activity. These weren't ordinary containers. Some jars carried inscriptions, naming individual workers and recording deliveries tied to royal festivals during the reign of Pharaoh Amenhotep III.
Amenhotep the Great, a pharaoh whose rules.
The tomb of King Amenhotep III was discovered.
Each label served as a tiny window into the lives of the people who labored to feed an empire, linking ordinary tasks to the grand celebrations of the New Kingdom. But the bakery was just the beginning. Nearby, specialists uncovered traces of textile production, weaving weights, bone needles, and remnants of fabric that had once been crafted with careful skill. Pottery vessels, cosmetic containers, and small household amulets were scattered throughout the area, suggesting that everyday life was vibrant, structured, and deeply personal. Each artifact, no matter how modest, told a story of ordinary routines rarely captured in the archaeological record outside of royal tombs. While monuments and palaces showcase grandeur, these remains reflect the rhythm of life for the empire's workers, the men and women who cooked, crafted, and cared for their families, sustaining both the economy and culture of ancient Egypt. The city became a real-life classroom for researchers, allowing them to study ancient life step by step. By examining kitchens, workshops, and storage rooms, scholars could understand not only what people did each day, but how they arranged their schedules and shared their spaces. The discoveries revealed everyday routines, cooking for large groups, weaving cloth, storing supplies, and caring for family and faith at home. Even tiny items such as amulets and cosmetic jars told meaningful stories. They showed personal beliefs, traditions, and hopes, helping us see ordinary citizens not as distant figures, but as real people with lives surprisingly familiar to our own. Perhaps, most importantly, the discovery gave a rare glimpse into the workforce of one of history's most famous empires. Instead of glimpsing life solely through the eyes of kings or nobility, archaeologists could now observe how entire communities functioned, cooperated, and thrived. Kitchens, workshops, and homes became evidence of skill, diligence, and resilience. They reflected the human side of empire building, showing how ordinary citizens played an essential role in the machinery of state and culture. Under the leadership of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, archaeologists observed evidence of cooking, textile production, storage, and family life within the city. But what did industrial productivity look like for the people who lived here? Now, let's explore the hidden royal workshop city, industry and administration of the royal court. In other sections of the city, archaeologists uncovered bustling workshops where artisans once crafted jewelry, decorative items, and finely made goods.
Many important information, artifacts will be studied. Each artifact can rewrite the history of Egypt.
These were not merely simple crafts. They represented the skill, creativity, and sophistication of workers who supplied the royal court with luxury objects. Among the finds were clay seals inscribed with the name of Pharaoh Amenhotep III, directly linking the city to nearby palaces in western Thebes. These seals served as official markers, confirming that the settlement was more than a residential area. It was a crucial hub in the administration and logistics of Egypt's Golden Age. The city functioned as a carefully coordinated administrative and industrial center, where housing, storage, manufacturing, and official oversight came together in a single, organized system. Workshops hummed with activity, producing items for both everyday use and ceremonial purposes, while officials managed records, deliveries, and supplies that flowed towards the royal court. This was a place where planning and precision governed not only work, but life itself. Streets were laid out with purpose, buildings aligned for efficiency, and districts organized to separate production, storage, and living spaces, revealing a level of urban design rarely seen in surviving ancient settlements. Every building, every alleyway, and every workshop tells a story of intentionality. The layout of the city reflects a culture that valued order, productivity, and harmony, showing how ordinary workers, craftsmen, and administrators contributed to the grandeur of a royal society. Far from chaotic or haphazard, life in this city was structured, each district performing a vital role in the overall functioning of the empire. From the homes of artisans to the official offices where records were kept, the city demonstrates how human ingenuity and organization were harnessed to support the grandeur of Pharaoh Amenhotep's reign. For modern researchers, these discoveries provide an unparalleled glimpse into the mechanics of daily life in a royal city. Rather than relying solely on temples, tombs, or monuments, archaeologists can see the human side of administration, production, and domestic life woven together in a single living space. The city stands as a testament to the sophistication of ancient Egyptian urban planning, the discipline of its workforce, and the intricate balance between ordinary life and the demands of empire. In every brick, seal, and artifact, the rhythms of an ancient civilization pulse, revealing a world meticulously designed, coordinated, and alive with purpose. The discovered city revealed a coordinated and highly productive community, but what kinds of goods did they produce? And what was the true magnitude of this mysterious city under Pharaoh Amenhotep III? And when did he die, leaving this incredible treasure behind? Let's uncover the astonishing details. Treasures and the glory of Amenhotep. Among the most captivating discoveries, archaeologists unearthed a dazzling array of artifacts that bring the city vividly to life. Jewelry sparkling with craftsmanship, brightly painted pottery vessels, scarab-shaped amulets, and mud bricks stamped with the official seals of Pharaoh Amenhotep III all surfaced from the sands. Each object is a fragment of history, offering clues about the tastes, beliefs, and everyday lives of people who lived during one of Egypt's most prosperous eras. These artifacts were not just decorative, they were functional, ceremonial, and deeply intertwined with the rhythms of daily existence, providing a rare, tangible link to a world that thrived over 3 millennia ago. Amenhotep III, who ruled around 1354 BC, inherited a vast and powerful empire stretching from the Euphrates River in modern-day Iraq and Syria to the southern reaches of Sudan. His reign spanned more than 4 decades, and he is remembered for the wealth, grandeur, and monumental building projects that defined his rule.
Amenhotep III is the really dominant presence in this temple, of temple architecture.
Structures such as the colossal colossi of Memnon near Luxor still stand as silent witnesses to his ambition, artistic vision, and the labor of thousands who worked to glorify the pharaoh. Yet, while monuments like these showcase grandeur, they often leave little trace of the ordinary people who made such splendor possible. This city changes that perspective. Every street, workshop, and household object offers a window into the day-to-day experiences of those living under Amenhotep's rule. Researchers can now study how citizens cooked, worked, produced crafts, and managed daily routines while the empire reached its wealthiest heights. The combination of official seals and personal items like jewelry and amulets demonstrates the interconnectedness of royal authority and ordinary life, showing how state power extended into the lives of craftsmen, traders, and families. As one scholar noted, this city is extraordinary because it captures a rare snapshot of life in a period usually seen only through tombs and monumental architecture. Here, the private and public spheres coexist. Luxurious objects, practical tools, and everyday belongings reveal the human side of a civilization known for its wealth and artistry. It is a vivid reminder that behind every monumental palace, festival, or sculpture were communities of people whose lives, work, and creativity sustained one of the greatest empires in human history. Through these artifacts, the city whispers stories of prosperity, craftsmanship, and ordinary life during Egypt's most opulent age, offering a glimpse into a world long buried yet never forgotten. Beyond producing valuable goods, the king ruled an empire stretching from the Euphrates River in modern Iraq and Syria to Sudan before his death. But what happened in the years leading up to his demise?
Amenhotep III, who was also a king, and he died and was successfully reborn into the afterlife.
Could his passing have contributed to the city's gradual decline? Now, let's dive into how a thriving city faded. From glory to quiet. Following the reign of Amenhotep III, the Egyptian Empire entered a period of dramatic transformation under his successor, Akhenaten. This pharaoh introduced sweeping religious reforms, focusing worship on the sun disk, the Aten.
The Egyptian pharaoh Akhenaten, with the sun disk being present on some inscriptions during his reign in the rule of his son and successor.
And departed from centuries of traditional polytheistic practice. To reflect this radical shift, he founded an entirely new capital at Amarna, signaling a profound reorientation of political, religious, and cultural life. These changes rippled across Egypt, affecting not only the royal court, but also ordinary communities, including the city recently uncovered near Luxor. Archaeological evidence indicates that as Akhenaten's religious and political reforms took hold, activity in the city gradually diminished. Unlike cities destroyed by war or catastrophe, this settlement was not violently abandoned. Instead, life simply slowed, and people moved away over time, leaving behind homes, workshops, and streets that were carefully preserved by the desert sands. It was a quiet, almost gentle decline, a city fading from daily use but never erased. Interestingly, during the reign of Tutankhamun, there are signs that some areas were used again. Small-scale activity resumed, perhaps related to restoring older traditions after Akhenaten's radical reforms were reversed. Yet, despite this brief revival, the city never regained the grandeur, population, or prominence it had enjoyed under Amenhotep III. Streets that once buzzed with bakers, artisans, and officials returned to quiet, and the workshops that produced luxury goods for the royal court fell largely silent. For historians and archaeologists, this city offers an extraordinary window into a pivotal moment in Egyptian history. It captures life on the ground during a period of profound political and religious upheaval, a rare opportunity to see how ordinary citizens experienced change. The artifacts, homes, and workshops reveal daily routines that continued even as institutions shifted, illustrating the resilience and adaptability of people navigating a transforming world. In essence, the city stands as a frozen record of transition. It shows how communities responded to powerful shifts from tradition to innovation and back again. Streets and workshops tell stories of continuity and adaptation, offering a vivid snapshot of everyday life during one of Egypt's most fascinating eras. This city not only reflects the opulence of Amenhotep III's reign, but also preserves the subtle echoes of change brought by Akhenaten and the brief resurgence under Tutankhamun, providing an unparalleled glimpse into the rhythms of life in a society navigating both wealth and transformation. The political and religious reforms introduced by Amenhotep III's successor, Akhenaten, led to the gradual decline of the city's former glory. But why does this city matter in history, and what legacy will it forever hold? Let's find out. Secrets beneath the sands. The true significance of this newly discovered city lies not in grand spectacle, but in the subtle, painstaking details it preserves. Unlike temples or tombs designed to impress with size and grandeur, this settlement allows archaeologists to step into the everyday world of a royal city and see how it functioned at ground level. Streets, homes, workshops, and bakeries reveal the rhythm of ordinary life, showing how craftsmen, families, and administrators worked together to sustain an empire. At the same time, the site offers invaluable context for one of ancient Egypt's most dramatic political and religious transformations. Akhenaten's radical reforms, which shifted worship to the Aten and relocated the capital to Amarna, can now be studied not in isolation, but against the backdrop of a thriving urban center left behind by his father, Amenhotep III. While the city does not answer every historical question, it quietly fills gaps in a complex story that spans generations. Every street corner, every pottery shard, and every inscribed seal provides clues about how ordinary people lived, how workshops operated, and how administrative, industrial, and domestic systems worked together. The surviving structures show a carefully organized society in which daily life, production, and governance were intertwined, a rare insight into an empire often understood only through monuments and royal tombs. And because only part of the city has been excavated, there is immense potential for future discoveries, ancient records, personal artifacts, and hidden stories that could dramatically reshape our understanding of Egypt's most prosperous era. Even today, the legacy of Amenhotep III continues to capture the world's imagination. In 2021, Egypt staged the Pharaoh's Golden Parade.
Egypt's ancient kings and queens, the highly anticipated and meticulously planned Pharaoh's Golden Parade,
transporting the mummified remains of 18 kings and 4 queens across Cairo from the Egyptian Museum to the new National Museum of Egyptian Civilization.
Mummified royals, 22 of them in all, Cairo's Egyptian Museum, the National Museum of Ancient Civilization.
Among them were Amenhotep III and his legendary wife, Queen Tiye, honored in a procession watched by millions worldwide. The event was not just a display of spectacle, but a reminder that the stories, achievements, and people of this era still resonate across 3 millennia. In essence, this city near Luxor is more than a collection of ruins. It is a bridge across time, connecting the grandeur of empire with the texture of everyday life, showing how ordinary citizens contributed to extraordinary history. It allows us to witness the rise, the transformations, and the enduring legacy of one of Egypt's most remarkable rulers and the society he helped shape. Through its preserved streets and homes, the past speaks with a clarity rarely found in archaeology, quietly revealing the lives behind the monuments. So, what do you think about this discovered city? Could there be others like it, still waiting to be uncovered? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.